So, hey everyone, and welcome to this Hangout for the book launch of the book Magic of Being. Yay, I'm so excited. And I have with me today are some of our co-authors, Sophie Mihalko and Michelle Edhouse. And I guess people are also going to jump in during the call. Hey Sophie, hey Michelle.
Hi.
Hi, Nilofer.
Wow. So I was just saying that, I'm like so gleeful today. I'm just so happy.
I can see that. I know.
I'm just so happy. Somewhere I feel I should be feeling sad with all this trauma and drama going on. And like a couple of days back, I realized, oh shit, it's the election in the US, and I've scheduled my book launch just after that. Am I crazy? And then today when I went for my walk, I just realized, it's like the perfect time to have this book launch, because really this book is based on interviews that I did when I first began with Access Consciousness. And more than 50% of this book has interviews from the first all access telesummit that I ever did, So I have an interview with Corey Michelle, with Simone Milasis, with Vanita Subramaniam, with Dr. Casey Crisp, with Susan Lazar-Hart, with Liam Phillips. So, these are all Access Consciousness facilitators that I spoke to for the first time, while doing a telesummit. And as I've been reading the book, I just realized, even though I did this series maybe 3 or 4 years back, the tools are evergreen. And it's like, I've read this book quite a few times because I've been compiling it and editing it, and very recently I've been pulling out questions from it, which I'm giving away as bonuses for people who buy the book. I've been creating clearing loops from all the clearings from the book, and I just realized how applicable these tools are even today. And as I read through each chapter, I was like, oh yeah, I need that one. Oh, that's a situation going on in my life, and I have to apply that tool, So it is like so appropriate to have that. So hold on, I'm just going to mute somebody where I have a background noise. So Michelle, your chapter is creating your life through choice. And I know that, we did this interview a couple of days, a couple of years ago. But so, speaking as you today, what else do you have to share? With all that you've chosen since we've done the interview, with all the amazing tools that you've played with, the classes you've been to, what else would you talk about today?
Wow. It was really interesting as I was going through transcribing the interview from the summit, and I was looking at that exactly. It was like, wow, I have changed so much since we did that. And yet, as you said, the tools are still applicable. I'm still using those same tools now to create the life and living that I'm desiring to create now as I move forward and as I create even greater. It's one of the things that I really love about living is that it can be ever changing. Like, I remember somebody saying, if I was happy, life would be boring. And I was like, what? I mean, I've written a book, Unlocking Unhappy, and I've had the weirdest comments from people about, what their life would be like if they're happy. And my life is ever changing. It's constantly, I'm constantly creating new things. I'm having new people in my life. I'm choosing differently with business. I'm creating all over the place, and it's so much fun to be creating and be creating from a place of choice. And I was asking a question of myself about, well, what is it that they are looking at if they are, if they think that their life would be boring if they were happy. And what I realized was they're functioning from a place of happiness is an end point. It's not a space that you be as you create through life. And using these tools that I've been using, and using, you know, even greater tools as the tools have developed, and I found that it's the fun of the choice, it's the fun of the creation, it's the fun of being that is the magic. And I love the title that you've given this book, because magic of being is exactly how I perceive my life at the moment. It's so much fun, and it's always changing, and it, you know, I think the people that will be attracted to this book will be the ones that love choice and change and creating different, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I realized how much we all love trauma and drama, because it's like just recently I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and we kind of came to a place of you know, that like both of us were facilitating each other, because we realized that we had been just creating trauma and drama, and we were just not willing to stay in that space of peace and joy and happiness. And so, you know, we've been running this clearing on ourselves. What do I love about trauma and drama? So definitely don't use this if you want to not have trauma and drama in your life, or if you want to be more happy. So hey, Casey, it's so good to have you.
Thanks, Nilofer. It's early in the morning here in Europe. It's dark and cold.
Oh, you're in Europe. Okay, brilliant.
I'm in Europe, yeah.
So
I'm doing a body class next week in Hungary. I'm very excited.
oh, brilliant, brilliant. I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to make it on the Hangout. So I'm really so happy to have you, because really this book is mostly a compilation of the first ever interview series that I did. And you were like one of the people who was there on that series. And wow, you know, and I've interviewed you maybe 2-3 times more after that, and recently just last year. And I'm just so grateful for your energy, your being, your presence, and what you contribute, actually. Wow.
Thank you very much, Nilofer. That feels good.
So you've actually spoken about relationships in the book, and
Yes.
I'm sure it was many 10 seconds ago.
Yes. Are you going to ask me to remember what I said? That's going to be a...
No, I'm going to actually ask you about your awareness today. So if you were to talk about relationships today, what would you like to share with everyone listening?
Actually, I would say I'm seeing glimmers of change. I'm running into relationships here and there that's like, oh, there really is more of a degree of allowance occurring in relationships, and they don't necessarily look like an ideal stamped access consciousness relationship as Gary and Dane describe it. But I've recently encountered a few people who were actually they were actually married to humans, and there was a rather large amount of allowance included in their relationship. So for me, I see hopeful things that are going quite right, quote, right, whatever right is, but I see openings where more is possible than just the stereotyped relationship where one person gives themselves up totally and the other person gets everything they want. So I would say things are changing. There's not so much of a rubber stamp mold, either from access or from this reality as to what's required for relationships. So I consider that a very hopeful sign.
You know, like when I interviewed you for the first time, I remember just before that I'd attended a level 2 and 3. And Gary spoke about relationships, and he says, I've only seen in my years of meeting people, talking to people, I've only seen 3 relationships that actually work. And he spoke about you and David. He spoke about Steve and Chitisa Bowman. And he spoke about Susan Lazar-Hart and Ricky, So like at that point, there were 3 relationships.
Right.
Since then, like you said, I've seen so many relationships which are working. And it's like they work to the degree that they work, really. And and really, it's like relationships with humans, with humanoids, whatever it is. So what would be one thing that you would like to share today, one tip that you would like to give our listeners or our readers about relationships, what they can do to create amazing, phenomenal relationships?
With one tip. I would say totally give up the idea that you can change the other person in any way, and be grateful for exactly who that person is as they show up. That's the biggest, if they do something that's just like off the wall weird and you just go, whoa, interesting choice, then they have total freedom. And actually it's at that point that they can change. They can't change as long as you're trying to change them or have a point of view about what they're doing. So the combination of allowance and gratitude is really an incredibly potent tool to change every relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And Casey in her chapter has shared some amazing tips about creating relationships, And one of the tips that I really loved that you've spoken about is look at what is and create your relationship from what is, not from a fantasy of what it's going to be like. And that one thing actually has shifted so much for me in my relationship.
I'm so glad. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Casey. Thank you.
My pleasure, Nilofer. Thank you for everything you contribute with your books and your telesummits and everything. You're a phenomenal creator for all of us. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Hey, Sophie, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Hi, where are you? Let me see you.
I see me.
Yeah, okay, great. You're there. Hold on, let me spotlight you.
Hey.
Hey, I loved the interview that I did with you, being Double D.
What was the title?
Double D.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Being
a double D, and we would think like it's a cup size or something.
Well, it is.
It is. So tell us
so
more.
Much more.
So tell us so much more part of it.
Yes, double D stands. So Gary Douglas came up with this expression that double D stands for definitely different, and I'm sure many people can relate to this. But growing up, I never felt like I really fit in. I felt I was so different than most people in the way that I was thinking, in the choices I was making, in the way that I wish the world would be. I remember having long conversations with my father about what I thought would be a really cool world to have. He did not necessarily agree with me. So the amazing thing is I did the best I could to be a double D that looked like a double B, like a single B, right? So I kept all my definitely different abilities or choices kind of away, like in my little secret pocket, until I found Access Consciousness. And I will always remember the day that I sat in the foundation class in Access, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to hide anymore. Thank God. It felt amazing that finally someone was giving me permission to be all of it. A different Rachel just posted, definitely delicious, definitely different, delightfully delectable. I love all of this, Rachel. Thank you. And that's, you know, I'm French. I live in the United States. So I have, just in that, I have all kind of different perspectives. But being also an Access Consciousness facilitator and working with people for the last 5 years, I'm also aware of like words that people use that don't match exactly what they're saying. But so my definitely different ways sometimes don't match people's expectations of me. So like I look pretty, I know Casey, for instance, met me the first time and she called me sweet, right? And it pissed me off because I don't want to be sweet. However, I am sweet. There is definitely, I can be sweet, right? And I can be not sweet. And I can be all of it. And I'm so glad that she did call me sweet because I can be that too. So this was really what I wanted to bring up in this chapter with my work, is how much is available to us that maybe we thought we had to hide, like being sweet, because I made it mean that if I was sweet, people will discount me, which is not necessarily true at all. Or that I'm a bitch, pardon my French, but that maybe I'm not all that good, right? So what if we allowed ourselves to be anything that is required in the moment and any time? And what if that double D was actually the cup size that the world wants to see?
I love that. I love that. And also it's that part where you can be that if you choose to be it, just for fun.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
for a lark. Just for a lark, right?
Yeah. Exactly. There is so much possibility. And I think back to what Casey said about allowance too. By allowing myself to be definitely different and having the whole palette of colors, all of the infinite possibilities, that's where I can have allowance for people, because I can recognize in myself what triggers me in others. So to me, that's the key to, you know, world peace, if there's such a thing.
And right now we're going through a really peaceful time in existence, right?
You know, I have to say that I actually was really at peace this morning when I woke up. I was like, whoa, we created some really interesting change in the world. I wonder, I actually had a lot of peace this morning when I woke up. So what else is possible?
Oh my God, it was so funny. I just woke up happy today. I'm just so happy today.
Yeah,
and
me too.
People might think I'm strange, but you know what? Like, I love it. What was
you were definitely different, Nilofer.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. I have to tell you this, Sophie. You know, I read your chapter. I mean, recently while I was pulling out stuff from your chapter. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do a lot of things very different with this book launch. So, you know, I'll tell you, it's so funny. Normally, like, this would be the time, which is like 12 a.m. in the US, that I would actually launch the book. Right? Mm-hmm. But today I said, what the heck, you know what? I'll just, you know, tell people to, you know, put word about this out early in the morning, their time, you know. And people have put word about it out early in the morning, you know, whatever time it was. And can I tell you something which I'm so gleeful about? the book is already #1 in USA, UK, Canada, and Australia. Oh my God.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, we can just be whatever the heck we want to be and do whatever we want to do. And we're not going to die, and it's not going to create something horrible or, and it might just
Actually
create something amazing.
Yes, can I just add one little thing to it, little tune-up, is that it's not just what we want to do. So it seems kind of that you did this randomly, but you didn't do it randomly, right, Nilofer? You actually followed the energy, didn't you?
No, I don't know anything about following energies. Just kidding.
And the energy was telling you to do something different, and you actually listened and you did it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
I am just so gleeful about this whole thing. So okay. So talking about the book launch. So here's the fun thing. Okay. So we're giving away a few bonuses, which everyone is going to get who buys the book. So you just have to buy the book and send in your book receipt to the email that is there on the website. And the website from where you can buy is www.magicofbeing.com. So make sure that you send in your receipt, because I get emails from people later on, you never sent me the bonus. So you purchase the book from Amazon. I don't know that you've purchased the book from Amazon unless you tell me by sending your receipt to me, right? So once I know that you've sent your receipt to me, you're going to get the bonuses. And what we're doing is that we're giving away 20-minute sessions with us. So for one lucky person who is live today, right now, if you send me your book receipt on my email, which is nilofer@illusiontoeliminationsummit.com, right now, while we are on the Hangout, one of you is going to get a session with one of us. How about that? I'm sure nobody wants it, right? Oh, Rachel said, I already did. So I wonder whose email I got the first, and that's the person who's going to get the session with one of us. Okay, Rachel, just send it to me right now, during the Hangout. So that'd be cool stuff. And of course, the book is amazing because I've read and reread each one of those chapters, and it's like every time that I open it, I just find something which is just so appropriate for me. And what I've also done is I've pulled out all the amazing questions that people have shared, and wow, it's so amazing. Like what I've done, from this book and also the book before this, Where is My Doorway to Possibilities? I've compiled all these questions, and sometimes if I'm just having like a blah day, I just pull out that PDF, which I have on my iPhone, and I just read through those questions, and oh my God, it just changes my whole energy. We have amazing content in the book. We have Corey Michelle, and she talks about creating business different, like Sophie talks about, and some of the things from her chapter was like, I read it and I said, oh my God, this is so wow, like I just got the tingles while reading it. We have Simone Milases, who talks about the joy of business. We have Steve and Chutisa Bowman. Wow, I love those two. I have their classes playing on the loop all the time. And this chapter was just so amazing. And I edited that chapter. I mean, I created it in the form of the chapter in the book. And it was just so amazing. So is Vanita there? Vanita, are you on the call? Hold on. So it was like just so amazing. We have Liam who talks about curing the incurable, to do with bodies. Who else is there? We have Casey and we have Susan speaking about relationships. We have Wendy. Wendy speaks about grief and dying. And that's such a heavy energy, so much of significance on the planet around death and dying. And, like I remember when I interviewed her, I had a lot of stuff come up around the death of my grandmother. And on the call itself, I could let go of all those feelings and emotions. We have Vanita. She speaks about being a leader. And, for all of you, if you have not yet seen Dr. Dane Here's Facebook Live video today that he did about the election and, the US election and what now, I would really invite you to go see it, and I'll post the link in the event on Facebook. It's just amazing. And he speaks about, being a leader to create that change in the world that we've been asking for. So amazing stuff, and it's like what I actually became really present to when I was creating this book was that this is just, this is such an easy form in which people have information and tools and processes available to them. It's a book, and you can just open it anytime and you have everything available to you. So how cool is that? Vanita, are you there?
Yes.
Hi, Vanita.
Yes. Hi, Nilofer. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I muted you.
That's okay. I'm like, how do I let her know I'm muted? Help, universe, Yeah, I've been listening to everyone talking. I'm sorry I came in slightly late because I've been running around trying to find all the technology to get myself here this afternoon. So I know. Can I say something about the book? I mean, the moment I saw the cover of the book, I just had such a blast of energy. And it was magic. I mean, seriously, I saw the title and I thought, what an appropriate title for this book. Because this just brings together everything we've been talking about, the whole magic, the ability to be magical, the ability to tap into that kind of magic that can create our lives. And I'm so grateful to you, Nilofer. I mean, there's no words really to say thank you for bringing all of us together in a book. Wow. And what contribution can this book be to in time? So I'm so glad you talked about Dr. Dane Here's live video today on Facebook, because that was amazing. I mean, what a gift after everything that happened yesterday. And it's so funny. All of you talked about waking up feeling peaceful and happy today. And I was like, am I the only one? Is something shifted? I mean, I'm supposed to be waking up and sensing this angst and this unruliness in the space of everything that happened yesterday. I mean, with India on one side, with the money, with the US, with the elections. But man, that is a change. That is such a change.
Absolutely. You know what?
Anyway.
Like I woke up yesterday and the election results were still coming in, and I had this I had not even switched on anything to see what was happening or whatever, but immediately I got this sense of expansion, and I just saw Donald Trump. And I said, wow, that's so bizarre. And I'm feeling so peaceful with this. And I see Donald Trump, so looks like he's winning, like awareness-wise. I had not even switched on anything. And then I switched on my phone and I saw everything. And then, I tapped into everyone's trauma and drama. And I said, that's so bizarre that I get such a sense of expansion and peace with this, and at the same time, I'm tapping into the trauma and drama, and it's like, I wonder, what do we know about all this that we've not been acknowledging?
Exactly. I mean, what is the change that we've been asking for? It never looks like the way we think it's going to look like. It's going to be totally different. And I think this has been one of the, I guess, a lesson in itself, a big lesson for lots of us who've been asking for change, that it doesn't look like the way it's going to look like. And perhaps this is the change we've been asking for. Yeah. I mean, we just have to go on the adventure of it now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Vanita, you have 2 chapters in the book, and
I do?
you do actually. And it was so funny, when I was compiling it together, I said, isn't that going to look a bit strange and bizarre to have 2 chapters by just one person? And I said, what the heck,
Right.
this is my book, and I can create it whatever way that I would like to create it.
Wow, God. I've got goosebumps. So tell me, what are my chapters in your book?
Hold on. So one is, being a leader in your life. And that is coming from an interview that I did with you quite recently. I mean, even that I think goes back around 2 to 3 years. And the other one is one of the first interviews that I ever did of Access Consciousness, which is Live by Design, Not by Default.
Yes. Oh my God, you're giving me goosebumps. Oh wow, I'm so thrilled because they really tie in together beautifully, don't they?
They do, and they are actually what is actually required today. Because the first thing that I became present to yesterday when I woke up and I tapped into all this trauma and drama, and to be honest, I actually bought into that trauma and drama, and I was like wallowing in it for some time, and then I went for my walk, and I realized this is the time that I have to choose something different, that I have to choose to actually live by design and not by the default that I'm tapping into all the time. So and then the other one, like listening to Dane today talking about choosing to be a leader, and that's the other chapter that you've spoken about. So Vanita,
I know. I was
So
Vanita,
Vanita,
ask me away.
Talk about one tool to live by design and not by default.
One tool. You always give me the most hardest questions because I've got like a million tools. The one tool, I guess, really bringing to focus right now in this moment of time, because I feel like we're sitting on a shift of time, like the tides have changed, and all of a sudden it's like everyone's got a question in their universe, and just get a sense of that energy. And I think it's finally coming to, I think a lot of people are going to wake up. I mean, you think that, the U.S. president elections wouldn't have an effect on the rest of the world, but hell, it does in a strange and bizarre way. I think everybody's got a question in the universe. I mean, I've been getting like text messages from my family here, from India, from all over the world about the horror, all my friends across the world, the horror or the shock or whatever you would like to call it, the trauma and drama, as you clearly said. But I think right now, in this moment of time, it's almost like you got to unplug yourself from the matrix of this reality, like literally unplug. Because my point of view, and which is a very interesting point of view, is that we all have a job to do. It's time for us to literally step up, never give up, be seen, be heard, and keep creating our life. And I think your whole book actually, which completely encompasses that, that's why I think it's very magical, that it is this time. It's very timely. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to design our lives where we are the role. We play the role. We're the main actor or actress, if you like. I think it's time to really look at yourself and see where you are today and what you want to create as your future. Because as leadership goes, I think our idea of what consists of a leader is changed. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
The definition of leader. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually written down what Dane spoke about in the Facebook Live today. So,
Yeah,
he actually used these words. He said, to create actual change, it's up to us. And it's time to step up and be the leader in our life. And being a leader is
yeah,
actually recognizing that you don't have to do what everybody else does. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to align and agree. You don't have to choose separation and hatred. Instead, go out and do something happy today.
exactly. That's exactly it. And that's the beginning of designing your life, because how many of us actually stop and do something that makes us happy? Perhaps that's where we have to begin, because there's enough of the unhappiness, there's enough of the upset, there's enough of the trauma, the drama out there. If you do not take a step away from it or step back from it, what happens? You get sucked into it. Does that make sense? So to design your life, to create your life, to take that boat ride, as an adventure begins with you. Everything begins with you. And what if collectively together we can create that change? Collectively together, we do not have to be the effect of what's going on around us, because I think collectively together we have created the effect that is going around us right now, to be honest. So it for me, it's turn it up. Turn up. If it's insane in your life, turn it up. Turn up the insanity. Turn up the joy. Turn up the happiness. Turn up the kindness. Turn up the caring, the generosity of spirit, the gratitude that Casey was referring to in your relationships. All of it. Turn it up. Turn it up so high, because I think it's so required now.
And the other thing that I was actually speaking to a really good friend of mine just last week, and we were just looking at and where are we all choosing unconsciousness, so that
Mm.
moment when you are getting sucked into the trauma and drama, and you're choosing sadness, or you're choosing fear or worry or separation,
Yeah.
that's where you
Yeah.
are choosing unconsciousness. So what if you were to actually make a choice and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore, catching yourself doing that.
Exactly.
No, I'm not doing this
Ex-
anymore, and what else is possible, and what other choice do I have here? And that
yes.
really requires us to be so present every moment of every day, so yeah.
Exactly. So, to those of you listening on this call, you have to be aware. It's not about going into the wrongness when you find yourself in that space. It's about acknowledging, wait, stop. What else can I choose here? Stop. In this 10 seconds, okay, I was upset. In this 10 seconds, I was angry. This 10 seconds, I was depressed. But stop. What joy can I choose here right now? What happiness is possible and available for me? And you're talking about what Dr. Dane here, in his video today. I loved one of his questions, which I really like to share. He gave like 3 tools. If you don't mind me sharing, I
Oh,
think it's
please,
very
please,
relevant.
go for it.
Yeah. So you know how in Access, and we always talk about a question empowers you, a question opens up more awareness, a question is your door to possibilities and choice, right? So the question here, when you look at being the leader and being the designer of your life and being the one that creates, magic and possibilities, one of the questions that Dr. Dane was sharing today was, what is that you could ask yourself is, what is true for me here? So when you find yourself in that space of unhappiness and depression or fear, as Nilofer alluded to, ask yourself this question: what is true for me here? Because if you follow what is true for you, you are being the leader of your life. How would you, and ask another question, how would I like to be? How would you like to be? Would you like to be happy? Would you like to be joyful? Would you like to be productive? Would you like to be successful? It's all your choice. And how would I like the world to be? And I think that is so incredibly relevant, because by asking a question like, how would I like the world to be? It brings every one of us as an energy, as a collective consciousness, as a, as a contribution. And that begins to change the energy of the world. So those were the three questions I really wanted to reiterate today. Thanks to Dane, and how, amazing that he picked today just before I launch. I was thinking when I was watching them, to say, yes, this is like a pre-launch to the launch, and yes, Nilofer.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, Sophie, Michelle, Casey, do you guys want to add anything to the conversation?
Actually, yes. When I was speaking, we hadn't mentioned the election, but anyone watching after this was filmed 2 days after the presidential election. And one of the tools of access is what's right about this I'm not getting, which I definitely have been asking. Oh, we just elected an incredibly sexist bigot to be head of the country, and the majority of the country voted for him. What is right about this I'm not getting? But the thing is, because I've been living with that question, all kinds of things that are right about it have actually occurred to me. It's like, he absolutely proved that politics as usual, which is the game that Hillary was playing, isn't going to work anymore. And I can't see that as a bad thing. That just seems to have the space and the possibility. And it's like, oh my God, we've been asking for change. And Gary's been saying for 25 years, when we get 1,000 people in consciousness, government has to come out of secrecy. Well, okay, it's out of secrecy. And I'm not really sure that I like some of the stuff I'm seeing, but isn't it better to have it out so we all know what's going on and we have the possibility to change it? So
yeah, and it's also, Casey, everything is out of secrecy. Now you actually know, like I was talking to my brother who lives in the US the other day. And I said, oh my God, it's so scary, if Donald Trump becomes the president. And he said, you have to think bigger picture. And he says that if Donald Trump becomes president, it means more than 50% of the United States has voted for him. And that means that you have a bigger problem than just Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And women and men voted for him, regardless of the fact that he came across as sexist and, homophobic and racist and all of that kind of thing. But, putting aside all of that, this man is a businessman. Maybe that's what the United States require. Somebody who can turn around and make money for the country. And that's one thing he's going to do really well at. He's going to make money for the country. And how, I have no clue, but I know that he's changing the world right now as we're talking about him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes up with. And, did any of you hear his speech yesterday, his presidential speech? It blew me because he came across like a completely different person in his speech. I was like, whoa, he's talking about now we have to come together and dispel all the diversity and create, as American people. I was like, whoa, and who is this man and what has he done with Donald Trump? Wow. We got to watch. It's fun. I think we got to go fun, like, how we always say in Access, we got to laugh and heal the earth and heal the world. Yeah, I guess we got to laugh and, yeah. Anyway.
Sophie, did you want to say something? Go for it. Do I need to unmute you? Oh, hold on.
Okay. I'm so excited about all the conversations that have been taking place since the results of the election. It's been all about what are we going to do? What are we going to create? Where are we the leader of our life? And a lot of what I hated the whole campaign on all parties, but a lot of what I'm seeing now is that's the invitation. The invitation is for us to step in and to create that, and not to go back to, to go back to the book. Being us and being the magic of who we truly are is how we're going to create a world that outcreates anything that Trump or any person who creates separation could create. So I'm really excited to see what we are now willing to step into. It feels like we did this. I didn't vote because I'm not American, but it feels like this was done so we could step in and take control.
Yep. I agree.
You know,
Well said.
like yesterday, I saw a Facebook Live video of Heather Nichols, who is another CF, and she's amazing. And she spoke about, you know what, this is my life. This is my world. This is my choice. And it's up to me to choose to step up, to be more joyful, to be more conscious, to be more aware, to be more in everything, and create that in the world today. And that's exactly what Dane spoke about today in his Facebook Live video. And he said, it's still our world, and we have the power to make a difference together, not separate.
Yes.
So,
and I just want to let you guys know that I'm on the social media team for Access, and the video has been viewed over 21,000 times and is being shared almost 200 times now. So I think this is a huge invitation for all of us. Get ready to be busy, people.
I agree. I think irrespective, I have a sense that we all have to wake up and take this higher, further, and more magical.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm excited. Are you guys excited? I'm excited.
Michelle, you want to put in something? Chime in. You're mute. Hold on. Now you no. Oh, I muted you again. Okay, you mute yourself. Unmute yourself. That's so funny. Yeah, we can hear you now. We can't hear you, Michelle. No, can't hear you. You're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Hey, Rachel, do you want to speak? Hello?
Is this any better?
Michelle? Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Yeah? Okay, cool. I just changed which microphone it's taking it from, so how's it getting any better? It was one of the things that I noticed was how much the change has gone from being, oh well, you know, the politicians run our lives, to wholly, we need to step up, we need to create our lives. What choices do I have? How can I create what I desire to be, what I desire to live in? You know, if this guy does do everything he says he's going to do and behaves the way we were all expecting him to be, what contribution can I be to still creating a greater world and not actually blowing up the world? And I've just, that energy is just so exciting for me, because it's like I'm hearing it from so many people all around the world, and it's just, you know, that whole what's right about this I'm not getting. I have been running that as well, you know, even here in New Zealand. Like, my kids have done studies on Donald Trump and what an idiot he is, right? And like, you know, beginning of the year, my 11-year-old, the first project that they had to do was do a video on what you think the world will be like if Donald Trump becomes president of the USA. I'm like,
oh dear.
So, you know, everyone around the world has been having this in their universe. So how much has that created this? And how much is it going to create in the future of people going, oh, well, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to create something even greater. So I'm really excited about what this is actually going to create in our world, and how many people are going to be stepping up and choosing greater. It's just, I got the vibrating thingy going on. I'm sorry, I'm on my knee. Can't hold it steady. It's just so exciting for me, because this is exactly what this book is about. You know, I have read the book, and I absolutely adored every chapter of it. And I'm so excited about what the possibility that the book offers to people, and so grateful to all of my co-authors about the gift that they be in their chapters, and the tools that they shared, and how much possibility people can choose with what's in this book. I'm so thankful to you, Nilofer, for putting it together. You just rocked my world. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. And you know what else I love about this book, and also the other one, Where is My Doorway to Possibilities? It's like, you know, they're almost the same tools, right? We don't create tools out of thin air. Those are almost the same tools.
No.
But it's like you get to watch the tools in action in different ways. So, you know, every facilitator, every person has their own unique spin on using the tools, you know, and you read the book and you go, oh, I have that going on in my life. Oh, oh my God, I'm going to use this there. And I've been doing it as I've been skimming through it. Oh, there, I could use that. Oh, there, oh, there. You know? So I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to everyone who's been on my telesummits, and to all of you who chose to be a part of this book. And yeah, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you, everyone. It's been amazing to have you all join us, to all my co-authors who took time out and spent time here today, and to all our viewers who've been there live, who are going to watch the replay, and, you know, to all the people who bought the book. Thank you so much. It's just so, I'm just so grateful. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nilofer. And thank you, everyone else. Yeah, thank you.
I'm just going to stop. Thanks, Sophie, Casey, Michelle.